Hello, everybody.
Oh, what? Armadillos in Albuquerque. What? I'm so sorry.
Did you say Albuquerque?
Yeah. Sorry. They always shows up in my dreams. I was asleep. I apologize, everybody. It's understandable. I'm a little tired, though. It was a long weekend.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yes, welcome everybody to What the Muppet. Thank you, Muppet Heads, for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. And every time I hear Albuquerque, like in this whole episode, that Weird Al song, Albuquerque, is going to be playing in my head.
Yes, I'm almost the same. It came from a Simpsons episode, actually, where they mentioned like the Albuquerque isotopes or something. Mm-hmm. And ever since, I've just loved the name Albuquerque. Locally, Wisconsin, Sheboygan. You can't say the name Sheboygan and not with a little smile or a little funk to it.
Yeah, it does have that little, like, it's fun to say it.
Yeah, it's a fun
Sheboygan.
It's just something about it, something about Albuquerque.
It's very Wisconsin.
Yes. We welcome you all to the show. Thanks so much for joining us. On a personal quick side note, I was mentioning being tired because over the weekend, somebody got married.
I got married.
Yes, mazel tov, Sadhu. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, October 14th.
You may notice that her name has changed, so we thought we should mention that just for that. No, we want to talk about it. It was a great day. It was a wonderful day.
Thank you. It was a very magical, colorful day.
I wanted to thank you and Matt for having us and all of us, not just myself and my mom and dad, but everybody, your other siblings and all these wonderful people that came together to be in the moment with you. It was such I said this before, and I actually had to do it because I don't document these things enough. But it's weird in the moment when you can realize, well, this is gonna be one of the greatest days of my life.
Oh my gosh!
Like
it was for me too.
Yeah, good. It had to have been like halfway through the ceremony that sat in with me, and I realized that it's usually like days, months, years later that you look back and like that was one of the greatest days of my life. Like I in the moment could realize, no, this is one of the greatest days I'll ever have. I could have a million great days in a row, and this is still going to be top 3.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
I've never experienced that before, I think. And I appreciate that. I appreciate being a part of the day.
Well, I appreciate that. It's so sweet and humbling to hear that. And we were lucky enough to receive so many compliments during the reception about that the ceremony was really like sweet and that it was the best wedding that they've been to. And a part of me was like, are they just saying that?
No.
But I guess if enough people say that, then it's
one of the most creative wedding. If not, no. It is the most creative wedding I've ever seen. It really was. It was wonderful. It was also another check mark of you are my kid. I'm so sorry. I did want to just one thing, and we'll get going into the show here. But there was one thing because I think our listeners will find this interesting, especially the way that the person that you are. This isn't how you come across. This is who you are. Everything you see is what you get with this young lady. She is a genuine, the real deal, and has the most genuine heart I've ever known. Which is why it's so interesting to see that backbone of yours sometimes, and to see you put your foot down.
She comes out when she needs to.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, and it was a wonderful moment of we were at the reception, and Briah and Matt were telling us, enjoy the meal. We'll be dancing later. And then, like, there was no music playing, but it was like a record. Like I heard a record, that kind of thing. Like the record skips and stops somehow. Nobody was playing a record player.
Yeah.
And Briah had to tell everybody.
Well, because there was a single clink of a glass that I heard, and I said, in my mind, I was like, no, not today.
Yeah.
So I had the mic in my hand still. I was going to put it on the stand, but I turned it on and I said, we will not be doing that.
The way she said it right there was very nice and everything. The way she said it on the day, it was like some greater being had told you this. It was
I was simply the mouthpiece.
Yes. It was just like we're gonna listen to this. It was wonderful. I thought it was funny and sweet at the same time.
I'm glad, because after I said it, I was like, ooh, I don't know if like the whole night is gonna be weird now. I don't even know who clinked the glass. Like hopefully they weren't offended or hurt, but
no, there was a not a nervous, a fun laughter to that, where people were like, okay, noted, but also that was funny. That was kind of.
Yeah.
It did get me though, going down a rabbit hole of history. Do you know the history of clinking glasses and where it comes from?
No, I don't.
It is kind of wild. So it started because I would have a drink. I'd take that drink to make sure it wasn't poisoned. Like this is going back to like the 1700s or something like that. And if it wasn't, I'd clink the glass. Let everybody know that so apparently
there was a big problem.
Yeah, how much poisoning was going on back then?
Yeah.
I did not even know though the tradition of clinking the glasses to make you and like the couple kiss.
Yeah.
I thought it was always you clink the glass because I got a speech. I want to say something.
Oh.
And so when you did that, I kind of thought it was more of like, well, with this crowd, I mean, we're gonna be here all night.
Right.
You know, everybody's gonna want to.
It's gonna be an open mic night.
Oh yeah, like hey, my turn. You know, I got something to say. It's
Yeah.
like person after person. So that's what I thought it was.
You had never been to a wedding where they did that?
No, I've been to a lot of weddings,
Yeah.
and for somehow I don't know how I've missed this. I always thought it was about speeches. I didn't even know, so I learned 2 things from that moment.
Wow, interesting.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. It was a great day.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
So we now going forward we have Briah Hoyt with us,
Yes.
and
It's gonna take me a while to get used to having a new name.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
You
not
lucked
a bad
out on
thing
that
at all.
part.
Yeah,
that
it's a
part.
very cool name.
It's got a good ring to it. Sounds nice. Hoyt's a nice name.
Right.
And, the only thing nicer is that husband of yours. You got a good one.
I sure am lucky.
You got a good one, man.
Well, thank you for joining us for our wedding TED Talk. Now we can get into Muppet Talk.
On with the show.
So, we should probably do like the
rundown?
the inevitable
the rundown.
challenge that
yes.
you have batoned permanently to me.
Yeah. The check is in the mail. It is. I do apologize.
Okay. I didn't look at this before the show, so this is gonna be a little like brain exercise.
Yeah.
So we have
Workout.
right. So we have Marvin Suggs, Animal, Lips. Sweetums, Ralph. It's 6 and 7 that I always get mixed up. I want to say that it's Beaker and then Zoot. Okay. I got it.
Boom, boom, got it.
Oh gosh, and then Muppet Movie. Gonzo. Clifford.
Yes.
Okay, good. Fozzie. Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's the show. That's the show.
I was honestly straining myself a little bit. Okay.
I was straining and I had him in front of me. But that was good. That was really good. Nicely done.
Thank you. And I think I picked Christmas Carol, so I think I go first.
Yes.
This one? For our Muppet quote / fact.
Yeah, now we'll see if we'll even things out now.
Yeah, I'll pick this one. I mean, we'll see. Here we go. And it's a tie.
Oh,
with
time
a fact.
continues.
The famous and hilarious Muppet Show aired from 1976 to 1981, and it's quite different than other TV shows for more than one reason. A network produces most shows and then decides the airing times, but the Muppet Show was actually created, filmed, and then sold to local TV stations that were interested. At first, U.S. cities were not interested, but there was interest in England. So that is where the show got its start and where it was filmed. In a sense, it is a British show. The Muppet Show ran for 5 seasons, totaling 120 episodes.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Nowadays, that happens a little bit with some syndicated shows, but not very often. Usually daytime talk shows are like that.
Really?
You the James and Briah daytime show, and we have a production set that like Universal or somebody that produces it, so we're not on ABC, NBC, CBS, something like that.
Depends like locally or like state.
Yeah, and you pitch it, sell it to an affiliate, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's not how all of them go, but that's how some scenarios go. That was completely different than anything that was being done behind the scenes, and it's perfect for the Muppets, considering almost everything they did on that show were like trailblazing and setting the bar or making the standard for what would be for puppeteering or filming puppeteering or any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just watched an episode of the show on Amazon, The Boys, and they had a pretty violent action scene that takes place with Muppets. And I was with what we're doing and talking to Puppet Masters have done. Go subscribe to their podcast right away. Talking with those guys a little bit, I was fascinated by the idea, and I would love to be able to talk to them about it because with that, they created like it takes place in kind of under a viaduct kind of thing or something, or no, sorry, underground in the alley kind of. So they're underground with this, and they ended up actually making like lower, like the whole foundation is actually up higher, so that the puppeteers can be standing down there while the others are up top, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's even one where, and this is the part I really want to ask the guys about, because I didn't even know this was a thing, where most puppet hands are being done with the sticks and that. They had one of the characters where the puppeteer actually had their hands in puppet hands. And so they were working the hands of the puppet, like with their own hands.
Super like intricate.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And I always thought this stuff was interesting, but I don't think I don't know if I was going down the rabbit hole kind of thing, like after talking to those guys and doing this show. So I look into it a little more. Sure enough, these guys got the idea from Henson and all that and everything.
He's kind of like the light bulb of like puppeteering and the puppet world and everything.
It only makes sense that even in pitching the show, they were doing something a bit different.
Wow.
And really betting on themselves in some ways too.
Yeah, definitely.
The people that were producing and putting money into that show, especially those first episodes where you don't know if most time you do that and you have your pilot episode, you know, you're getting money to create that.
Right, you have like a test audience and stuff.
Yeah, that's really betting on yourself, and to think that it worked.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's interesting, like I wonder after they like took off in Britain if they had any influence like into their show, like going into the future, like things that Jim and like the other creative members picked up from their time there that kind of embedded into their future seasons and movies.
Of all the Muppet movies, did the Muppets in Europe or anything like that?
Muppets Most Wanted did go to Europe.
Yeah, that's...
and I think it's Muppets... which one is it?
It
the ones I
sounds-
always get confused, but they go, because there's like a fashion designer or something they go to.
I thought there was something where they do that.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm surprised actually early on in the show that there wasn't more of a, almost a BBC influencer or something.
Yeah. Maybe with like the Muppet Show, like the classic show, there's a lot of like British guests, so that could be.
That's true. There's definitely that. And I think even in some ways, some of the humor is a little British at times. But I think that may stem more from Jim's type sense of humor and just had that kind of dry British, dark humor almost.
Love that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, biggest fans in the world of that.
What an interesting fact, and glad we're tied.
Yeah, it's nice to be tied. Okay.
After you, it's actually kind of nice not to worry about that tally.
It is really. We got enough on there. Yeah, you got enough. You're coming up with a rundown every time.
I know, yeah.
All
right, let's see.
Who we got?
Oh, it's exciting.
Oh, what is it?
Scooter! Oh my gosh, I've been so excited to get Scooter, because he is... I felt myself like light up and get really loud.
That was awesome.
But he really is such like an underrated character. Yes. He runs that show. He runs that show.
I think Kermit would be the first to tell us that he's
couldn't do
it without Scooter.
No.
So I was just for homework, not because I wanted to at all for nostalgia reasons or because my oldest daughter was getting married over the weekend. Friday I was trying to calm myself a little bit, and I wanted the palate cleanser, so I put on the Muppet movie, the classic, the original.
Yeah.
Didn't get through the whole thing, but watched the first half an hour or so and everything.
Good cozy feelings.
Yeah, and it was nice too, especially with doing this for history and for content purposes. It's like, oh man, I didn't realize how long ago it's been since I've watched this. I've watched the song of when Kermit's in the pond. There's snippets of that I've seen over the years, but I don't know the last time I watched the movie. And I was watching it, and one of the first things I noticed was Scooter. I'd almost forgotten about Scooter. How dare I almost forget about Scooter?
How dare you?
And then I started thinking about how, I don't know if I or a lot of people realize how Scooter has been a part of things from the very beginning.
Really, the very beginning. Actually, I think there's a little bit of Muppet lore that Scooter's uncle or somebody a part of his family is actually the one who owns the theater. So Scooter technically owns the theater.
Wow.
And that's why he's the stage director and stuff.
I've thought about this before, and I kind of thought against it, but this is one of those shows and one of those characters where I thought, okay, we do this, we pull Scooter, and then we kind of pause so we can get the actual rundown of Scooter and look him up on Wikipedia and all these things. I think this show is more fun just doing it this way. And let's be honest, nowadays, if you want to know that, it's a search away from hitting enter and you'll find out.
Yeah.
But I had to do a little of that. And I didn't come across that part of it, but I was wilded by how long the character's been around and how much I've loved the character over all these years and not really thought much about it, though.
Yeah.
You had Briah titles all of our pods and does an amazing job doing it, too.
It's fun.
You're good at it. But one of the ones you had was side characters or a side character theory, I think.
Yeah.
Great title.
Thank you.
That would fit well with this one, too.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
Such a definition of a great side character. Where you know him, even if you don't know the name, you know his as soon as you see his face.
Yep.
If you didn't know when I said Scooter, when you see the picture, you right away got, oh my gosh, Scooter.
Yeah.
Fun character.
Very fun character. There was one time I can call him my husband now. Me and my husband.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, wow. And my in-laws, we were like sitting at a picnic table in a beer garden, and we had just started the podcast, and Matt's mom always comes up with fun questions. So she asked us, like, who would you say is like what Muppet? Like what Muppet we are? And I said that Matt was Scooter. Just because, like, he's such, like, a numbers and, like, organized guy, and Scooter's, like, a nice guy, but he, like, sometimes he can get, like, a little, like, stressed. Who doesn't? But Scooter's got ambition, and he's organized, and he's kind, and he's just always trying to help out, and,
One of the things I like that I picked up on from Matt, in I think one of the first conversations talking to him, was a similarity that you and him share. You are genuinely kind, good people, and you put people first, but you're also not pushovers.
Oh, yeah.
And that ain't easy to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's a hard balance, that, being a good person and in this world, and now, especially in this day and age, trying to treat people right and give people the benefit of the doubt while also not letting people take advantage of you.
Yes.
And standing up for yourself and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got that. Not that anything came up to show me that necessarily, but I got that impression from him right away, and I certainly picked up on that with you right away.
Yeah.
I think Scooter, I think Scooter's a good comp for him.
Yeah.
In part because of that, because Scooter has to put his foot down sometimes.
He does,
and,
yeah.
and
well, as a stage manager.
Yeah.
He's got to say, like, 5 seconds to curtain, Mr. Maylock.
I think I get that vibe from him too, which I think is really cool.
Scooter fellow.
I never thought about that. You guys share that so much, but yeah, you really do. Side note, he has wonderful parents.
Yes,
really big thank you to both of them. Wonderful meeting both of them. I look forward to talking to them and seeing them again soon.
Yeah, I really lucked out with great in-laws.
Oh, yeah.
Who love the Muppets. I mean,
it's
I
a
couldn't
win-win.
have won a better jackpot. But let's describe maybe Scooter's, like, outside and then inside, like, in his heart.
I think appearance-wise, Scooter gives a very, it's so funny to say this for Muppets, but normal look, especially compared to the other Muppets, and he's one of the few human Muppets.
Yeah.
I always thought that was interesting when they would do that.
Does have like a humanistic.
Usually they're an animal or gonzo or something, with him, you can kind of tell, okay, this is a person, which may tie into what you were saying about the theater and the ownership of that. I didn't think of that, but maybe that's a little of it.
And I think it was also Matt who brought up when we were watching a movie one time, and he was like, is Scooter's eyes like in his glasses? Oh my gosh, they are.
They are.
They're in his glasses.
Yeah.
And I can't think of like other Muppet characters that are really like that, like with their eyes. But so Scooter's very unique. Good. He has like little orange hair that's always like neatly tidy.
It's always tidy. He also has not changed his fashion since the 70s.
No, and I love that.
I do too. It's actually come back around. I think he's back and he's hit now.
He's on top of it.
Inside, I think we described him a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Attention to detail.
Yeah, attention to detail. I think he's like good natured. I think he can get like, he has the possibility of getting like tightly wound, which I am also guilty of if there's like too much going on. But he has to have some sense of like good inner control to be a stage manager for those Muppets and all their chaos.
I always focused on Kermit and him being the MC and the ringmaster, if you will, and did not give enough credit until I was actually in theater to Scooter, and how every great production I've ever been a part of, the director's good. You got a great stage manager. You got somebody that is able to ring in all these insane people. I included in that. It's a really tough job. And I admire people that can do that gig and do it well.
Absolutely.
Scooter's one of the greats.
Yeah, and I love too that if he does need to go on stage for something, like he needs to stall or make an announcement, he just marches right out there. There isn't that, well, there might be like episodes that I haven't seen where he has stage fright, but from what I've seen, he just owns that stage and he's like, oh, this is what's going on.
Yeah, true.
I like that.
I think, I may have this wrong, but I think there was an episode or a scene or something where his glasses actually do come off, and you do see that he has no eyes.
Yeah.
Because you said that, and like something's like sparked in my head.
Right, an unlocked memory.
Yeah, I could swear I've seen that. Maybe I got that completely wrong, and it was a dream or something.
Nightmare.
Yeah, one of the other. A little column A. But
right.
Yeah, something like that. Good
Yeah.
one.
Do you have any like favorite Scooter moments?
I think it really, and maybe I'm going off this because I just watched it, but in the movie, you get to, there's a couple of characters that I don't know that we get to see as much over the years. Kermit's nephew,
Robin,
I
love Robin.
I forgot all about Robin in some ways. I'm like, oh, I miss Robin.
I know,
You could do a whole TV show on Robin and stuff. And
I think the original voice actor for Kermit played Robin and Rizzo, and he no longer he was let go.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we haven't seen much of Rizzo or Robin over the past couple of Muppet things.
It's always unfortunate when money and suits get in the way of creativity.
Yeah.
And that happens way too much. But to be honest, especially at Disney, it always has. I mean, going back to Walt, and that's going to take me down a path of a lot of stuff that you guys do not want to hear me write about. But with this, I think as far as that goes, I really enjoyed seeing him, and what I liked about the scene, you first see him, he's coming around, he's checking on everybody, all that. He doesn't say, I'm the stage manager, my name is Scooter. You get an idea, even if you don't know what theater is. Oh, I know his job.
He's got his clipboard and he looks important.
And it seems, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but every Muppet has a job. Every Muppet has a purpose. Everybody is there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's the show inside the show. That has become one of the bigger tropes to use nowadays, whether it's TV shows or even a lot of the sports shows.
The mockumentary and stuff.
Even the sports shows I watch nowadays, the Dan Le Batard show or Dan Patrick show, one of the big pulls of those shows are you're not just listening to it, you're watching the show inside the show. You're seeing the show get made. You're seeing how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
I think modern people like that. It's something that I try to do on our radio shows, is give people a breaking of the fourth wall and all that. Just it's one of the best ways, I think, of helping people not only tune in, but to feel like they are a part of things, because they deserve to. They should. They are a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
like you.
I think one of my favorite Scooter moments is also from the Muppet movie, and it's very small, but when Kermit and Fozzie enter the old church, and Scooter says, "We're gonna make it into an old a new coffee shop or something." Yeah. Just that little line, you can hear the excitement in his voice. And just who is Scooter? And he just wants to have a coffee shop and repurpose this old church, and it just kind of speaks maybe not volumes, but some piece of who he is, aside from being a road manager for this crazy band.
Trying to, be the sheepdog of all these sheep and trying to, lasso them in.
He really is the hero without a cape.
Yeah, he is. That's a good note on him. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. And I also realized in doing this show, we are giving the animators and the creators of the owners of this content so many show ideas.
I know. Yeah.
There needs to be a Robin Scooter show. Just with those two, hitting the road,
Wholesome,
or I don't know.
side quest.
Yeah, something. I could see that.
Scooter finally gets gets his coffee shop. Oh, and like new Muppets could come into the coffee shop and like, oh my gosh.
I like the idea of that. I liked what we were talking about the other week about just movies that have already been made, but with Muppets.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's another good idea.
Oh, and our artist who created our podcast art said that he really wants to see the Fozzie Goes to College movies.
Yes.
So we should really start a petition or something.
I like the idea of Animal House featuring Fozzie. I like something like along those lines, or Van Wilder, but Van Fozzie.
Van Fozzie. Nice.
I love both of those ideas. So.
Well, Scooter, let's go on an adventure with him.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this Muppet hat. Let's see. Okay. What role would this Muppet play in a friend group? So it's interesting because we've been kind of talking about his role in like the Muppet world, but that's kind of like show business. So who is he in like a friend group?
You know, I think first of all he'd be very supportive.
Yeah.
Very supportive friend.
Very supportive friend.
I do think he'd be a good listener, but I think sometimes you'd have to remind him that all you needed him to do was listen.
Right.
It
you
does
don't
feel
have to
like
fix like the problem.
Yeah, with good intentions, but it does feel like he'd be one of those friends that'd be like.
Yeah, that's something I'm very guilty of.
Yeah. Oh, and me too. It took me a long time to learn that. I'm thankful to my mother and my sister teaching me that sometimes, Jimmy, a woman just wants you to listen. They gotta learn that early on. Although I'm still having to learn it from time to time.
Yeah.
But that's. It kind of feels like not in a
That's
mean
a good
way, not
point.
a bad way, but it feels like Scooter might be a little like that, just a little.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that like empathy and people pleaser piece of just wanting to like, okay, you said this is wrong, let's fix it right now. Yeah. So I could see that a little bit.
Definitely supportive, a little of that. And I think, seems, I don't know where this is coming from, but one of those people that once you get him outside of work, like he loosens the tie up a little bit. Like, maybe not too wild, but he'll, that's when you get him to cut loose a little bit. You get him out of the theater, get him away from work a little bit, he lets loose a little. I don't know how or what his, but also he has a vice. I don't know what it is, but Scooter has a vice.
Scooter's
I don't know if it's gummy bears, I don't know if it's, binging bad TV shows, I don't know, but...
Oh my gosh, he's just like a Real Housewives fanatic. Actually, I could see him just having clipboards full of like each of the housewives.
And it makes sense. I don't know why, but it makes perfect sense. That's good.
Actually, yeah, I could see him waiting in line for hours at like a meet and greet and having like a list full of questions.
You see this line of people and they all make sense and you're like, is that Scooter? What
Is
he doing with it? I have no idea.
This picky, the only time you'll see them together. It's like waiting in line for this.
Just get their books, just waiting to get signed.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of like classic friend group roles. There's kind of like the chaotic one, there's the funny one, there's the one that kind of takes the mom role, there's the quiet one. I don't think that Scooter like perfectly fits one of these roles. I can't really see them being like the mom role. Yeah. But I can see if like the group is in distress, he's going to be like, okay, someone has to step up to the plate. If Kermit's not in the group, someone has to step up to the plate and get us out of this mess. And he kind of comes up with some sort of plan to like get everybody out. Yeah. But I see him being like a supportive friend, funny, kind of like a dry sense of humor way.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. I think of good listeners. I don't want to. I do think, especially with the job he has to be a good listener. Yeah. So one of the best things a stage manager does, certainly getting everybody in place when they need to be and those kind of. But also, you're a part-time therapist sometimes, and just being able to oh, I can't go out there, I could never do this. And the stage manager calming you down a little bit, and it's okay, it's going to be all right, and the audience doesn't bite.
That's a
I
really
could see
good
a little
insight.
of that in him with friendship.
Yeah, and this is a little random, but I could see Scooter throwing a really good, like, not a party, but like a game night party or a murder mystery party. I could see him being a really good host.
Oh, it would be a great party. It would be very efficient.
Yes.
But
he thought of everything, every snack, everything.
But poor Scooter, because you can't plan for everything. Something would go wrong, and I just see him immediately panicking
or he's
a little
not
bit.
enjoying himself. He's just thinking about everything. Oh, Scooter, he's a great friend.
He
I would
really
be
is.
lucky to have a friend like Scooter.
Agreed.
Well, my husband's kind of Scooter, so I am
Yeah,
lucky.
you kind of got
I
that
already have a
already.
Scooter.
You kind of got a Scooter.
Alright, Scooter. He also has a fun name.
It is a good name.
I really like his name.
And it's easy. That was the weird thing to me about when I first saw him, and immediately Scooter pops in my head. But then I was kicking myself like, oh, I haven't thought of Scooter in so long.
Yeah.
There's so much that's memorable about him, even though he is kind of a side character and kind of an average-looking character, considering the way again a lot of the Muppets look. I mean, all that. All right.
The would you hat.
Would you consider this Muppet a superhero or a villain if they had superpowers?
Whoa. Ooh, interesting. No, go ahead.
No,
please.
Whenever I always like to give the first thought in my head, so I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
I try to kick it out.
I'm very interested.
A lot of the times it's like, oh, I wonder if she was thinking of this Muppet when this question comes up. And then there's ones where I would never think of Scooter in a question like this.
Yeah.
But oh, I love that it felt this way.
Me too.
It's really cool. Because he's probably the last character, maybe one of the, maybe Camilla, as far as, no, not even Camilla. I think he's probably the last character you would think of with superpowers or anything like that. He's one of the most quote unquote normal or, kind of, well, even the human, like him being human even kind of like almost pulls you away from anything like that. But he'd definitely be a superhero. I could not see Scooter the villain. I do like the idea of a parallel universe Scooter being like a villain, the one Muppet villain. Usually there isn't a lot of villains in Muppet movies. It's a producer
usually by the
or
end,
something
they're
like that.
Oh, it's kind of like a neutral feeling.
But if there were to be one, I could easily see, especially if you were sticking with like the Henson kind of like storytelling and everything, that a guy like Scooter turning into a villain because of people just not appreciating him or this or that. I don't mean like a super villain like Lex Luthor or something like that. But one of your more tame villains. Yeah. One of the more not so bad. They're just trying to steal the loaf of bread. That's so bad. That's so bad.
Right, Les Mis situation.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was a super villain. Not because Scooter is like evil in any way, but I think he is taken for granted, and that is like a pretty good nugget of inspiration for like origin story. Have you seen Megamind before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and like Hal, the nerdy like camera guy that's being taken for granted and everything. That's kind of what I thought of, like that parallel.
Oh, I like that.
Of like, okay, now I have all this power. People have to listen to me, and it kind of goes in that direction. I don't think Scooter's evil, so I don't think a super villain. He's going to be doing any demonic, like really violent plans or anything like that. I think it's more of like a, now you have to listen to me kind of thing.
I also, if he was the superhero type, absolutely 100% the sidekick. Like a great sidekick. Like he has all the great sidekick tendencies or qualities and everything. Like keeping the Batman in line or any of those things. Like he'd make a really good sidekick.
And I think that he would want to be. I don't think that he's like, you're like, no, you sir, like you go for it. Yeah. I think he likes being in that supportive role. Or he doesn't, and that's why he's a supervillain, because we keep putting him in a box.
Maybe that's how this works.
Maybe,
he starts out as the sidekick, and because of these kind of things, he turns into the villain.
Right, because he's very intelligent, and I see him, accounting for like everything that could happen. So I think he has the potential to be a good villain if he wanted to be. But if he's a hero, like, does he get taken seriously?
I think to me the greatest villains have that similar quality.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not like book smart or intelligent. Sometimes they are, but they're all criminally smart. They're all like mischievous smart.
They
I
got
think
street smart.
Yeah, and he has that tons. So that fits. I like that.
Right, and I don't like that my mind went there because I really love Scooter and I don't want to see him in that light, but I'll follow you, Scooter.
Now, and obviously not in real life or anything.
Yeah.
But I want you to imagine it's a movie or a TV show or theater or play or whatever, and Matt playing a villain. I know, right? Because I tried to do that, I couldn't do it.
Oh man, I think if he like needed to, he could pull it off. But no.
No,
he's
It is
kind. He's got a golden heart.
Yeah, he's better off. You
Yeah.
don't need it. You don't need it. Man, that was good.
Yeah. Wow, Scooter. Thank you.
It's I think the essence of what we're doing here, and also the essence of these characters that were created. That a character like Scooter, and we can create so much content out of.
Yeah.
You know, it speaks to what, if you're a writer in the writer's room on these shows, or if you're one of the creatives that get to work on them, like, we have fun with this. I can't imagine what it must be like sitting in that room and being like, all right, let's do something. Let's put these guys in a snare. How about a zoo? Let's put them in a zoo. Just, you know, it's gotta be just wild to be able to work on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. This was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for listening and always being so supportive and all your comments and ratings and everything. We just appreciate it so much.
This is one of those things that we enjoy doing together so much, and the only thing that makes it even more impactful and fun is that you are all involved with it as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without you guys.
It'd be a little weird too. I mean, if it was just you and I doing this for each other, it would be a little like
Right. We just get together every week and
it
play
would
this game.
It would be fitting.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that far-fetched for us to do that. It would be definitely. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to further support the podcast, if you want to rate the podcast, you totally can. I think that's it's definitely a feature on Spotify. I'm guessing like other podcast platforms as well, and YouTube or whatever.
Subscribe to the YouTube page. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Spread the word. Not just about our show, but other Muppet-centric pods out there. There's a lot of good ones, and we appreciate everybody supporting this genre and what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you enjoy our podcast, you'll love Puppet Masters of None. Actually, we have a special treat for you guys. Next episode, we are going to be doing our collaboration with Puppet Masters of None. We were invited onto their podcast, and it was a treat. I'm so... It's been... We like pre-recorded it.
Yeah.
Quite a while ago, maybe like a month ago.
It really was. Yeah, it was a month ago.
Yeah.
It feels like it was longer, but
It
only
does
about
feel
a month
longer.
ago.
Yeah, so it'll be a little bit of like a time lapse, but we're so excited to release it.
We've been just sitting on this and been just
Yeah.
chewing on, dying to share it with you guys. We're
So
excited. It was such a
yeah.
good episode. And if you didn't already like and subscribe to their stuff, you're going after it.
Totally.
I know I did. I already was I enjoyed what I had been hearing. After you get to really talk to them and hearing our conversation with them.
They're so nice and insightful,
Yeah.
and I've learned so much listening to their podcast. It's really cool.
Looking forward to having them on our show too.
Yeah. So you guys stay Muppety, and we'll see you next Monday.
We'll be there for a special episode with those guys. I knew
Yeah.
you were going to do that. I was like, don't do it. I couldn't help myself. I jumped in. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, we will have that special episode next week, and then the week after we'll be back with our normal show.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys then.
Stay Muppety.
Bye.